Bulletcast for life.
Get up! This is a revolution! This is our time to rise! Look deep within your mind, look deep into the hate in my eyes. We are the elite, and you are the weak. No matter how hard I fall, I'll get back up on my feet. Red alert, this is gonna hurt. When your face is in the dirt, you'll know your death is what I seek. We are the elite, and you are the weak, and I will...
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is I, the microphone messiah, Phillip Antoine, here on this hallowed eve, Halloween. Joined by the Canadian Destroyer, BT Brandon 10 Kuma. What's going on, man?
What's up, everyone? Happy Halloween. Hopefully everyone has a lovely, safe weekend, because it's Halloween's on a Friday, so I assume, all the stuff's happening today, but then, is there stuff happening last week or, Saturday, even though it's November, but it's closer to the politics of when a Halloween party is always confusing to me.
I know there's one going down at this spot in Emeryville tonight, so I may go check that out. I may just go pop over there, pop out and show them. I don't dress up. You know who I should dress up as for Halloween this year?
Who?
What's that Sancho Demira guy?
Put on a clown outfit? Doesn't seem like a good guy. Seems like kind of an asshole.
I didn't say Will Ospreay or Kenny Omega.
Sorry.
Wow.
Well, Kenny usually dresses up as like some anime guy, and
Kenny,
Will Ospreay is always like
an
an Assassin's Creed character.
He really is in the anime. Assassin's Creed was popping, bro, for a hot second, bro. Were you a big Assassin's Creed guy?
I've never played an Assassin's Creed game in my life.
You weren't on the 360 like that?
I was on 360, but I was more of a Call of Duty, Madden, MLB 2K, which they should bring back, but it's all just the show now, unfortunately.
Bro, what's up, man? I got this Red Dead Redemption over here. This Red Dead Redemption 2. I really don't like to do the missions. I thought it was kind of like free roam, like GTA, where I can just do whatever I want, but I can't do that.
Love Red Dead 2, GTA 6 coming out sometime next year.
It is, yeah. I was on the PlayStation Network last night. It said May 26, 2026.
It might come out. Hopefully, it comes out before my birthday in July. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It said May, bro.
But just because it says May, it also said it was gonna drop like Christmas this year, but that didn't happen.
Of course, yeah. Well, you gotta fine tweak some things. But yeah, man, I may be Sancho for Halloween. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I saw he had his first singles match on Halloween a couple years ago. That was nice.
Good for him. Look at him now.
Yeah, look at that guy now. Main event match next week in Vallejo.
In the Ho?
Yeah, fans bring the weapons. You guys don't want to miss that. It's gonna be crazy. But yeah, we are here to talk about all the things. Brandon, what are you doing for Halloween? You're working, right?
I'm a hardworking individual. I don't remember the last time I did anything on Halloween because, I have no friends, no social life. So I just sit home, I watch the World Series and hand out candy to the kids.
Bro, what's up with Toronto?
Shout out to 6. Game 6 in the 6 today.
Now.
Do they get it done?
Y'all thought Canada wasn't going to come back and avenge? We was going to avenge LA. We was going to do this, man. Or not avenge LA, but you know what I mean.
Toronto had to get one win after what Kendrick did to them, so it's okay.
Man. Kendrick didn't do it to a whole city. Let's calm down.
Yeah, he did it to a whole country.
No, that didn't happen. It was defamation, if I'm being honest. It was all defamation. But it's okay. Toronto's out here. I gotta post about my Canadianisms. Yeah. No, I was an honorary Canadian before I was an honorary use. You remember that, right?
Good times.
Yes.
Good times.
Mike Rotunda has suffered a heart attack. Who spoke out and said he was in hospice? Who was that?
So Barry Windham kind of broke the news saying that he was in hospice, but then yesterday or a couple days ago, then Rotunda's daughter, Bray and Bo's sister, then came out and said, no, he just had a heart attack. He was in a coma for a little bit, but he's not in hospice. He's just in, medical care, which the difference between intensive care and hospice
It's drastic.
Doesn't seem like that much, but
It's
usually people who
drastically
go to
different.
hospice don't kick out. So
Yeah. What you call it? Yeah, so it said he had the heart attack on what September 20th. He was in a coma for a month and now he's in intensive recovery. Yeah, I saw Mike Rotunda in Vegas, man. What you call it? Yeah, so I'm glad brothers doing all right. You know, it was cool to see a legend of his stature just kind of up close. Like, holy crap, that's IRS, man. Yeah, and plus, you know, the family's dealt with so much loss given it's been 2 years since Bray passed away. So yeah, man. Hopefully, Mike Rotunda makes a full speedy recovery, man. Yeah, they just put him in the Hall of Fame too, right?
yeah, I mean, kind of came out of nowhere. Like I know the news, it actually happened like a month ago, but we didn't hear anything until this week. So,
Yeah,
and he's still relatively young. I think he's like maybe in his 60s or like late 60s. So he's not like, super old. Like
yeah.
also, shout out Abdullah the Butcher. Apparently he's going through some health stuff
What?
as well. He's much older. He's in his 80s, but still.
Hey,
And
man.
also Blue Demon Jr. He was in a car accident. So a lot
Yes.
of legends been going through some stuff recently.
Yeah, man. T's and P's to all of them, man. Abdullah the Butcher, man. If you have never seen an Abdullah the Butcher match, go watch. That dude he was on a different level, man. He was on a different level. Uh, did you see his dark side of the ring?
I believe so. I mean, just a crazy individual, crazy times. He might be kind of like a meme now because of the face and the scars and everything. But I mean, back in the 80s and 70s, like he was a literal monster. People were
Yes,
scared of him.
I mean, yeah, the bloody wars he had with oh my God, Bruiser Brody and all the stuff he was doing in Puerto Rico and Abdullah the Butcher is an interesting guy, man. They claim like he can't read or write, but he owned multiple businesses. Interesting cat, man. Interesting cat. Devon Dudley accuses JR of racism. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
this one didn't come out of nowhere because I think Devon's
yeah.
like alluded to this in the past, but he finally just said it that it was Jim Ross that apparently said he doesn't like him because of his skin color, or he doesn't think he can be anything because of his skin color. Back in I would assume when the Dudleys first came to WWE back in
When
what
was it?
that was 2000,
99?
99, something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, not the best of things. I mean, not we hope it's a little bit of a false truth, but JR is a older man from Oklahoma, so wouldn't be shocking if he might have said something like that. He hasn't, I don't think he's commented on anything because JR is going through his own health stuff, and Devon himself has said that he's kind of moved past it, and he's not, doesn't hold any ill will towards JR, but he was just saying what happened back in the day. So yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I mean, good old Jr. Man. I hope like if he's doing his health stuff. I hope he's doing well. It's wrong to think that way. I mean, who was the head of WCW that was it Ole Anderson? That was he was a known.
Yeah, Ole Anderson, not the best guy in the world.
Yeah.
Also, Bill Watts got himself into hot water because of some
Yeah.
stuff he said about Hank Aaron. So yeah,
Yeah. I
that
mean,
era, that era, there were some things said.
it goes to show like how many of those guys thought like certain guys weren't going to make it to the top because of the color of their skin, and then you look at guys that did make it to the top despite that stuff. Um, I don't know, man, but like, I mean, you look. I mean, it's always said that what you call it, the Dudleys are quite possibly the greatest tag team of all time. I mean, there are all the debates. I mean, he made it to the heights unfathomable. I mean, going from the stuff they did in ECW to the stealing the show at WrestleManias multiple times over winning all those tag titles all over the world. I mean, yeah, I mean he made it despite whatever JR said, even if it's just in the tag team, bro. Like he still made it. Everybody knows the Dudleys. Everybody knows the 3D. I mean, God, they're how many kids got hurt in living rooms and backyards because their buddies threw them up for a 3D. You know what I'm saying? Like icons. throughout it all. So, maybe Jim Ross will comment on this. Maybe he won't. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, obviously not a good look. And uh, yeah, man, it's just we really need to hear what Jim Ross think or his side of this of it all. But yeah, man, that's unfortunate that Devon did have to go through that. Sherilyn Guerrero begins wrestling training. She joined Reality of Wrestling Booker T school over in Houston. Notable names over there: Hollywood Haley J, who's doing Power Slap, and of course the main one, the son of the late great Umaga Zilla Fatu, is over there as well. So hey, man, another Guerrero in the game. Her sister Shawl has been on the show. What was it, like 5 years ago? And at this point now. Yeah, so can't wait to see what she does, man.
Yeah, I mean, just because you're born into it doesn't mean you're going to be anything, but it is nice that she's, kind of going the Reality of Wrestling route. I mean, as you said, there's been some people that have come out of there, so it seems like Booker T and his group is able to train them well.
Hell,
And
you know who trained over at Reality of Wrestling?
who?
One of them is wrestling for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship this weekend.
Oh, look at that. Didn't know CM Punk wrestled there. Oh, I had a 50-50 chance and I got it wrong. Damn.
I mean,
Tough look.
you know damn well CM Punk was wrestling in backyards in like '99 in Chicago. Main event, Jay Uso.
Come on. Don't let the bit die. Come on.
The Usos, man. Come on now. Yes, they came from Reality of Wrestling. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So these feet walking, these vignettes, these little promos, 30, 25-second clips that WWE been posting over a couple days had the internet in a frenzy. Oh my God, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? You know what's going on? Is it Jericho or is this a vignette for the revision? You saw boots and jeans, like, oh my God, is Brock gonna join the revision? Is this leading to War Games? And no, there was a WrestleMania 41 promo.
42.
Oh, 42. Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this definitely took the internet in a tizzy because they just randomly threw out these very cryptic vignettes. And then, yeah, it just ended up turning into like a video of Triple H, Paul Heyman, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar at a poker table. Doing
was
an
that AI Brock Lesnar?
Yeah, doing like an advertisement for a show that has already they already started selling tickets, so it's not like there was any announcement. It was just like it was kind of weird of like the time and
I have to
everything.
answer this call. To go ahead with it.
So yeah, as Philip takes some money, takes some money phone calls. Like I said, it was just kind of weird timing. Like, why did they drop this video now? Why did they do like these cryptic lead-ins? Because like the combo ticket sales had already begun. It wasn't like any big announcement of like, oh, single day tickets are on sale or oh, whatever. Like tickets are on sale now in general. Just I don't understand the reasoning behind it. Um, and then that, kind of led to people getting angry about stuff, just because people always get angry because maybe they thought too much of it being, Jericho, Gunther, some debuting person, Obafemi. I don't know. But yeah, it was definitely a weird thing. And it was, it was like it was only a couple days. It wasn't like they let it out for a week. So because I mean, I think the longer this thing went, maybe the worse it'd be in terms of like what was going to happen in terms of the fan backlash. Other news in the world of professional wrestling. Well, people, I know you've all been waiting for this time. Vince Russo is back in creative in professional wrestling in the year of our Lord 2025. He has joined JCW Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
I'm back. So yeah, where did you I kind of had to mute you. I'm sorry. Where did you get at with the teaser?
It was
Uh,
just strange timing. Like, what was the point of this? Because there was no like announcement based off of it. It was just like,
uh,
oh yeah, we're having this WrestleMania in Vegas that we've known about for like a year, and there was like, it wasn't even like a ticket announcement because the combo tickets already been on sale,
oh, you didn't talk about how there was no women in there and all this other stuff.
and no, yeah.
Yeah, I thought like Rhea or Becky or somebody could have been in this. If Seth wasn't hurt, do you think he would have been in this with Becky?
Well, I would assume that this was shot like weeks ago, so that would have been before the injury.
Nah, they probably had to pivot. Do you think Brock took the place of Seth?
Maybe.
It's a possibility. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. Vince Russo.
Yeah, he's joining JCW Juggalo Championship Wrestling. They're more of like kind of a mid-Atlantic, uh, North promotion, running like the Carolinas and like Ohio and Kentucky and stuff like that. He joined. He announced on his podcast, and I guess he's already like contributed to like 9 episodes or 9 tapings, whatever that means. So you know, JCW. I see advertisements because I watch Wrestling with Regret, and he's Brian Zane's a part of that company.
Not Brian Zane.
I know friend of the podcast, even though he's never actually been on the podcast. But
Front of the podcast.
yeah, he'd be at the APW shows. He said
He
hi to us.
what didn't he like pop in on an interview once?
Maybe. Well,
We'd have to
probably
go back.
because he we were probably doing like a what the hell's his name? Uh,
Shapiro.
yeah, Levi Shapiro interview, and he probably
Yeah,
just jumped in once.
shout out Levi, great guy. Um,
So yeah,
yeah,
would be shocked if JCW closes doors in 2026.
that's crazy. Let's go to SmackDown. Drew McIntyre defeats Jimmy Uso. Um, and then Cody Rhodes comes to make the save, and then Cody eats a Claymore. Drew McIntyre stands tall at the end of SmackDown.
Pretty basic stuff here. I guess good that Drew got a win pretty clean against Jimmy because Drew doesn't get too many of those, and he's very much on the verge of just like not being a credible main event person anymore because he just always is losing. Not saying Jimmy like does a whole lot to his credibility, but it's good they actually win something. And Cody still kind of up in the air of what exactly his character, if there will be a character turn, not turn in terms of like heel turn, but just like character switch up.
No, this is just fed up Cody. You know when he goes enough, like, he's just fed up.
Yeah, I'm not, especially with some of the stuff going on this show and on Raw. I don't think we're getting anything from Cody like that anytime soon.
The but yeah, no, he's fed up with it all, bro. That's all it is.
Enough is enough, and it's time for a change.
Hey, where have I heard that before? Jade Cargill turns heel.
Yep, she makes her illustrious return and then clotheslines uh, Tiffany Stratton. I think this is probably for the best. I've always just kind of thought that Jade was better suited as a heel. This might be kind of, her last shot in WWE, to be honest. I wonder, like, what was the thinking and what is the plan for Jade? Because, I mean, I don't know if she's been in the wrestling business for like 5 years now. And, like, yeah, maybe Dominic is a little bit more experienced, but, like, if you compare where Jade is compared to Dominic Mysterio, like, it's night and day. And it's like, at some point, you gotta kind of cut bait with her.
Well,
And
do you realize what was going on when Dominic like really hit the scene with the Judgment Day? They still had all those live events, so he had like all that non televised time to really grow and find the character and get all those reps in the ring. Jade didn't have that. She wasn't like AEW people could work indies, but she wasn't doing that. Everything she did was on television.
yeah, and it's a tough spot for her to be in of not being, and she's also like not the youngest in the world either. She's not like
And,
Dominic where she's like in her mid to late 20s.
yeah, and
She's
plus
in
like
her 30s.
they per I mean they Jade was kind of in her own universe. I mean, she went on like a Goldberg like run, which Goldberg was in the news for talking about Asuka. We'll talk about that when we talk about Asuka's anniversary in WWE. But yeah, man, this is a breath of fresh air, and I know where it should go at Saturday night's main event tomorrow. We'll talk about that once we get to that level of the section of the script. Ilya Dragunov retains the United States Championship, the Open Challenge, answered by Aleister Black. Damian Priest comes out there. Ilya gets the win, and then Damian Priest and Aleister Black do their bit on the outside.
Yeah, I mean, it looks as though Ilya is just going to kind of continue on with the open challenge gimmick, and him and Sammy are kind of similar in terms of like I think they are a good character. They can work with anyone. They can tell different stories. He's good at selling. He's good at comebacks, and we'll just have good matches on SmackDown, and fill up 20 minutes of TV time every single week. So, um, hopefully they do more with him compared to what they did with Sammy, where it was just matches and you didn't really care too much about the actual stories. And maybe there's something that
Well,
Ilya
isn't
can
that
kind
what
of.
the original Open Challenge was? It was just like who's gonna show up, who's gonna show out. I mean, Sammy. It was only 8 weeks, and I
Yeah,
think it was.
but that also includes John Cena and Sami Zayn, where you know who they are. Like they're kind of made talents and made characters. Ilya, at least on the main roster wise, still has yet to kind of find his footing in terms of who he
And
is.
this is gonna help him, kind of find that footing and prove himself to a larger audience. Uh, yeah, I mean, Sammy's run was 8 weeks. It didn't overstay its welcome. It was done at the right, perfect time to end it. I love that. I'm excited to see what Ilya does with this, and then the U.S. title picture, man. I mean, Solo wants the title back. We know. Sami Zayn, I'm sure, will be due for a rematch sometime. Carmelo's still wants that. Ilya's the champion. I mean, we're in for some really interesting stuff. I say we get like a fatal four-way going or something. Yeah.
Sure, why not?
What? Yeah, yeah, hell yeah, why not? Let's do something, man. I want to see it. Inside the ring, Blake Monroe, the Glamour, is the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Wow.
Yeah, T's and P's to Sol Ruka. She's dealing with some sort of knee injury or leg injury.
Oh my God, so Ruka, she was on fire, man. She had to relinquish the speed title on NXT this week.
So yeah, Zarya was like wrestling for her slash for the championship. It was not exactly, I think, explained what Zarya's role in the match was, but it was still for the title. And
It's
Blake
simple.
Monroe
It's
ended up
like
winning.
when what you call it when Randy Orton was wrestling for Booker T in the with that best of seven series with Chris Benoit for the US title. Yeah, basically that.
So yeah, I mean, Blake Monroe gets her first WWE championship. I haven't, I'm not watching NXT every week. I kind of keep up via podcast and stuff, but it doesn't feel as though she's like lighting the world on fire. A little similar to Ricky Saints. She comes over from AEW and she's in NXT and
Hey,
she's
but
doing stuff, but it's not exactly like she's the main character or like something super over.
Ricky
Um,
Saints is and still though.
yeah, I mean, shout out to Ricky Saints. He's finally kind of getting his run on
The
top with the
the
championships.
promo he and Trick had leading into Halloween Havoc was excellent.
Very, I was not in the Indies, but you don't have what it takes to be on the Indies and all that stuff that we've heard a bunch of times. But I thought Ricky was able to deliver it quite well. So
Yeah.
we'll go back to Blake. Let's see what she does with it.
Yeah, Tatum Paxley, the new NXT Women's Champion. Congratulations to her. Dark State defeated the Hardys. The Broken Hardys were back.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit of a band-aid just in terms of like what the Hardys are, and Dark State not exactly the best of wrestlers in the world either. So just kind of have the Broken Hardys be in there. It's a Halloween episode. It makes sense. They can, just kind of walk and brawl and not have to do too much technically in the ring.
No, I love a good walking brawl.
Well, you would have loved WCW and you would have loved just wrestling in the late '90s in general, and TNA. Basically, Jeff Jarrett's entire career.
What do you mean? JEFFJARRETT was lighting the world on fire. He'd hit that stroke and then the strut. Come on now. Yeah. The
Yep,
OG, thank you. Or slap nuts. Don't piss me off. Sorry. I apologize.
that's a Jeff Jarrett segment for the week.
Yes, right. Jay Uso and CM Punk have a war of words leading into the world heavyweight title match. Jay said, I'm tired of being called just an entrance. Y'all gonna realize why I do this, Us. Uh-huh.
I thought it was a good promo. It was, I thought what Punk was saying was solid. He actually had something to kind of talk about. And Jay continuing on his heel turn, I guess. I still don't know if they're gonna pull the trigger with that. We'll get to the Saturday's main event previews. Maybe they pull the trigger there. I don't know. But yeah, I thought it was solid.
I
Like,
don't
between two baby faces where two people, the crowd likes both guys.
I don't think it's a heel turn, man. I think it's just like, hey, what you call it? Like I've been doing the happy go lucky stuff and doing that. I got the title, but I lost it. So like, let me buckle down and let me really get into it. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's different ways they can go with it. It could be a straight up heel turn. It can be a more serious Jay. I mean, we saw with Seth Rollins, he turned heel after WrestleMania, and yet he still kept the entrance. So, like, Jay could turn, and they probably would still do the eat, which I think is a bad idea. But
Or he
we'll wait
doesn't
and
even
see.
come from the crowd anymore. Just comes out the back like a normal person. Just
Which is what he should do. But if he still has the same song, people are still going to eat.
then yeah, I mean, just because they're doing it doesn't mean he has to.
No, I would say that, but we have Seth Rollins to look at. That doesn't give me faith that that's what they do.
Seth's character was kind of like Seth's character, even though he was doing what he thought was the greater good for the industry and the vision of the company, he was still an egomaniac. So yeah, he still wanted them to sing his song as if he was a puppet master. And I don't see Jay playing into that role at all.
At all?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Braun Breaker defeats LA Knight. Yeah, when is LA Knight gonna get an opportunity here, man? I heard dude, I heard a theory. I was listening to Sam Roberts. I heard a theory about this world title match. We're gonna get into it once we get to Saturday night's main event, and it could result for something for that boy LA Knight. I want to see what you think. Um, yeah.
I mean, going back to the original questions, like I thought maybe LA Knight could have been like a decent kind of substitute in terms of like, you don't want to do anything too drastic coming off the Seth injury. CM Punk's a big name. Juice was a big name. You probably have plans for them at Mania. LA Knight's plans maybe a little bit more fluid. Maybe you just plug him in. He could be champion because I did think LA Knight revitalized maybe not his career, but definitely kind of uptick in crowd reactions over the past couple months. And I thought, maybe you give it to him and you can kind of see where you go, and he can be maybe a little bit of a transitional champion. You can give
You
it to
know
Braun
what?
Breaker if that's what you want to do.
L- LA Knight definitely would have been world champion in the Ruthless Aggression era.
I mean, I think it's a good thing that we don't just hand out title reigns like
Well,
it's
no, because if you
candy on
look at
Halloween.
guys got a shot. Guys got a shot with that thing during the Ruthless Aggression era. If you really look at it, I mean, obviously, like Cena and Orton and Hunter and stuff had runs as champion and Batista, but you look at different other guys that got opportunities too. So I mean, I just man, like I said, we'll get to the LA Night of it all when I would talk about that world title match at Saturday night's main event. Roxanne Perez defeats Nikki Bella. Had the internet going crazy for like 48 hours.
Respectfully, of course.
Yes, of course. Hey, Yang, come on now. When is Nikki Bella finally going to get her respect? She's a Hall of Famer. Like when are people going to sit down and realize like, yeah, she was actually pretty good.
I mean, I will still say that, Nikki Bella improved a lot, at the end of her first or whatever you want to call it, like at the end of her initial run.
10 years ago,
Yeah.
before she broke her neck.
Yeah. But
Yeah, because I was looking at I was watching some highlights. I'm like, man, that forearm she used to do was it just dastardly. It looked like it hurt. It was vicious. Obviously, the rack attack is what messed up her neck, but it was a devastating move. The people that took it sold it very well. Like Nikki Bella was really doing some great work at the latter end of like 2014 and 2015. Man, she was doing good stuff.
yeah, I mean, it was linked. People were going to say that she was only getting the push because she was dating Cena at the time. But
But
I
you have
mean,
to be able to back it up in the ring and
but yeah,
shit.
I mean, it does probably help that she was dating the top guy in the company. But I still say her in ring, especially, had drastically improved. And it was nice to see that Roxanne Perez actually got a win on Raw because Roxanne is right there with like the Dragon Lees and people that I will say are vastly underutilized compared to what
Dragon
their
Lee's the
talent.
WWE champion now. He's tag team champion.
Well, a little. It's been a good couple weeks for my boys and girls. So nice to see Dragon Lee and Roxanne Perez finally getting some shine.
Yeah. Stephanie Vaquero comes to make the save. Are we gonna? I assume we're gonna get a tag match and what Nikki maybe turns on Stephanie, or can we get Stephanie versus Raquel for the title? That would be. Let's see Raquel Rodriguez get some shine over here.
I mean, they definitely teased that a couple weeks ago, so I was assuming we're going to get it sooner rather than later, but they've kind of either cooled off on it or saving it for another time. And I agree. I think this new spotlight on Nikki just goes to like her turning heel on Stephanie. And she'll probably go down the route you are of like, oh, I'm a legend, I'm a Hall of Famer, no one gives me any respect around here. Rodney Dangerfield style.
She bring for the women's war games. She brings the divas to challenge the new blood. Yeah. We're gonna get. I don't know what divas are still active like that. I don't know.
We got Chelsea Green, she's a diva.
Bro, I want Chelsea Green to win the women's championship and bring back the divas title. Because people will hate it. And she can make it work.
But people love Chelsea, so I don't know if they'd hate it.
They would hate that title being on TV again, but she can make it work. That's what I'm saying. Asuka celebrates 10 years in WWE, man. A decade ago, when Asuka showed up, where did you think the run would go? I mean, an undefeated streak, longer than Goldberg's, which Goldberg put out. He spoke out and said that, that they did that on purpose. Does he know that his undefeated streak was on purpose too?
And also that his numbers were drastically inflated.
But yeah, I mean, but he knows that his was on purpose also.
Almost like the wrestling business is not real, so everyone who wins or loses is based on just who the promoter picks. But anyways, yeah, I mean, Asuka, like, when she came into the company, I'm still like not a huge, Japanese women's wrestling person, so I didn't really know.
Boo.
I know. I mean, shout out Asuka or shout out
You're not out here watching
Io
Bull Nakano and Manami Toyota.
I mean, I've seen matches, but I'm not locked into the day to day. But yeah, Asuka came in and she was a house of fire, and she was a fantastic champion. I forget, was she a heel originally, but then she just kind of was kind of like Goldberg, where she was just so dominant that people just started liking her. And people are gonna debate, and I would probably say the same thing of she probably shouldn't have lost to Charlotte at
Dude,
WrestleMania.
I was watching the video package on YouTube, and that was one of the comments. She should have lost to Charlotte.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of it's very similar to like Nakamura and AJ. Like Nakamura lost, and then he turned heel after that, and I mean, we were doing the podcast at that time, and it was I don't remember exactly what we were saying, but I probably was along the lines of like Nakamura and Asuka probably should have won to create create new stars and create new characters in WWE, but for whatever reason, Vince has never been locked in on Japanese stars, and nice to see that, Io and Asuka to a little bit lesser extent now, but there's more international flair in the women's division.
Woo!
No pun intended.
Yeah. All right. Well, tell us about AEW.
Yeah, Phillip talking about War Games. We still got Blood and Guts coming up in a couple weeks, and we did get a men's issued War Games challenge. We got the Conglomeration and Darby Allin gonna take on the Death Riders. We did have a women's challenge a couple weeks ago, or like a month ago, with Jamie Hayter and Amanada against the Triangle of Madness, and that's just been left. No one even talks about it anymore, so I don't know if they just dropped that or if they're still going to do women's War Games for them. No clue. But so that's the Blood and Guts match for the men's side in 2 weeks in North Carolina, I believe, at the Greensboro Coliseum. Speaking of those same women, Julia Hart and Sky Blue beat Queen Amanada and Jamie Hayter at the first round of the women's tag title tournament. Unfortunately, Penelope Ford suffered an arm injury, So she's out of the tournament, but we are going to get Maria Shafir and Megan Bain as a team in place of Penelope Ford. So that's going to be a super team. We'll see what happens on that front. We had some number one contender fatal four ways. FTR won the tag title one. So we're going to get FTR and Brodito at full gear. So that should be a phenomenal match. We also had a Down Callis Family Summit, and tensions kind of boiled over between Okada and Takeshita. So I would assume we're going to get that match at Full Gear. That's probably going to be like the top match in terms of why you would want to watch this show. We are going to get a tag match between or with Okada and Takeshita at Collision this week. I have not seen any spoilers, so I would assume something's going to happen, but I do not know what is going to transpire there. But like I said, I'm pretty sure we're going to get Okada and Takeshita at Full Gear. Then we did another singles one, which this was ridiculed online because we had a number one contender match, Fatal 4-Way, with Bobby Lashley, Ricochet, Samoa Joe, and Hook. Don't know why Hook is in there. And also, like, you would think Hook and Samoa Joe, like, in a match would probably be something, but they didn't really play into that at all. And also Hook was a designated jobber. He got choked out by Joe, and there you go. And then they did this situation after the fact where Tony Schiavone, it was the Halloween episode, so Tony Schiavone had his Phantom of the Opera gimmick on, and they did a contract signing where Joe signed the contract, but Hangman Page was nowhere to be seen. And then for some reason, Tony Schiavone was telling the ops to go grab a bucket of beer in the corner. And then Tony Schiavone was still talking and doing a cheers to the ops for some reason, even though they're dastardly heels and attacked Hangman a couple weeks ago. And then we finally get the reveal that Hangman Page was dressed up as Tony Schiavone, and then he attacked the ops and cleared house. So, yeah, clever ending, but I think it was one of those wouldn't it be cute if situations that didn't really work in practice because the timing and everything was kind of awkward and the logic I didn't think was there as at all. So yeah, that was AEW's, was it Fright Night? I think is what they called it for Dynamite on Wednesday. Once again, good matches. I thought the ending was kind of what they were banking on to be the big moment of the show, but I thought it kind of fell flat for me personally. Shout out to the makeup team and whoever did Hangman's makeup and his getup. He did look pretty close to Tony Schiavone. I will give him that, but I thought the actual angle was kind of weird.
Yeah,
and not great in execution.
I'm sorry you felt that way.
I know. But we do have Saturday night's main event this week. Not
yes,
a PLE,
we do.
but you can get it on the cock.
So since it's the first day of November,
or Netflix if you have a VPN.
Tomorrow, you think they'll do a Thanksgiving leftovers throwdown? I'm looking at all these different types of match types.
Oh, Halloween leftovers.
No, or a what if they did this? Are you ready for this? Are you ready for this? What if they did a biker chain match
between who?
I don't know. What if they did a Nigerian drum fight?
Spin a wheel.
Make the deal. Hello. All right, let's get into it. Saturday night's main event is going down. Jade Cargill versus Tiffany Stratton for the WWE Women's Championship. Give it to Jade. It's time. Let her go on a run. Let Bianca come back and let them feud over the WWE Women's Championship. I'm down for all that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they wouldn't do this if they weren't going to put the title on Jade right away. So I think you just give it to Jade. Let her have this run, see where you can get out of her, see what you can do, and
Tiffany's she's been champ for 300 days. I found out
what she wanted at
the beginning of the year, right? Yeah,
I guess. Oh yeah, she cashed in, right?
Yeah.
Triple
threat IC title: Dominic Penta, Rusev. Dirty Dom. I think he still keeps it, man.
Yeah, I think Mysterio still keeps it. I mean, if you're going to have him drop the title, I think you probably want to have it mean a little bit more in terms of like maybe it's a main event of a Raw or something. You can have a little more of a spotlight, especially if we do suspect Jay to win the match. And then obviously we're going to have a new world champion at the end. So I don't think you want to have two title changes on this one.
I don't think so. Let's get into it. I think that there's going to be a schmazola, and we are not going to crown a new world heavyweight champion. I think the Vision is going to get involved. And here, so I heard this on Sam Roberts. Sam Roberts concocted this play to where there's a schmazola. You have to these guys reluctantly get on a War Games team, and then somehow the world title makes its way to John Cena's last match. But I'm what if we do this? What if we do this? There's a schmazola. All right. And these guys don't want to get along with each other. And then Adam Pearce comes out there and says, hey, listen, this is what we're gonna do. Punk and Jay, you form a team. What you call it? The Braun Brawns, you guys form a team, and this is what we're gonna do. The winning men's Survivor Series team will compete in a gauntlet match to determine the world heavyweight champion. And then somehow LA Knight he's on the babyface team. The babyfaces win, and then somehow LA Knight wins the world heavyweight championship. What are your thoughts? Because I'm not gonna lie, man. I kind of like the idea of not having a world champion right now.
I mean, I think there shouldn't be a world champion. We should just have one WWE champion that floats between both brands. But that's apparently that's not going to happen.
Bro, look, I've gotten so used to. We grew up with it in the Ruthless Aggression era. We just had two world champions. But you see, do you kind of get what I'm saying? At like it's a schmazola, boom.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time we saw a smash finish in a WWE pay-per-view main event.
I don't think it'll be the main. I think it'll open. But yeah, I think we do that.
But I forgot. What's the name from Raw said this? The WWE Championship is the big one, even though his show's title was also on the line, which was a little tone deaf, but it's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm saying, what if War Games is Jay, Punk, Knight, Jimmy possibly, and then that fifth one, maybe you call the Tribal Chief. I don't know. They win at War Games, boom, and then I wouldn't say do it at John Cena's last. Would you do it at John Cena's last match, or do you do it on a Raw, where you have that big gauntlet match?
Like I've said, if the Saturday's main event was Cena, if it's a 2-hour show, an hour and a half of that is going to go to John Cena, and maybe you have like some undercard matches that don't mean a whole lot in terms of like no title matches or no big matches. So you just kind of fill some time, and then you have the rest just be dedicated to Cena.
Do it on the Raw go home to that show then.
There you go.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it feels like a lot just to get back to
the other what you call it, the other ideas I heard were even more than this. So I feel like this is pretty simple.
I mean, we know WWE loves to kind of surprise people and do things for the sake of shock value. It is a strange situation of Seth going down, and clearly, I mean, I think Seth was going to hold the title till next year, maybe all the way till WrestleMania. I don't know.
But with him out, we can play with some stuff now.
Yeah, and I said oh, maybe LA Knight could have been a transitional champion to Braun Breaker, but I think that's probably more AJ and Dragon Lee in terms of they're probably a transitional champion to the Braun Brawns in the tag title scene. So I think they're going to be kind of off on their own front on the tag scene. So I just don't think they're going to get their meddling in the main event scene for right now, at least, because they have played into Paul kind of flexing his muscles a little bit in terms of saying, look, trust me, listen to me, and you will go far. And Paul's, at least right now, is saying, don't get involved in this stuff because bad things could happen, and we'll pick our moment, but our moment's not right now.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, my official prediction will be Jey Uso turns heel and wins the title off of CM Punk.
Or does I think we get a schmoz, bro.
Maybe not a full blown heel turn, but he definitely does something dastardly.
Or does Jimmy inadvertently cost his brother? I don't know, but I think we get a schmoz. I don't think anybody walks out world champion on tomorrow night. And then lastly, it is for the W.
I think if that world title is not the main event, I think my alarm bells will go off. That is not gonna be a straight up finish. Because if it's the main event, you can't end it with like that.
No, then we made event with the WWE title. And does Drew McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes? Does Drew McIntyre finally get a run as heavyweight champion in front of a crowd?
I don't think so. I keep hoping and wishing that Drew could be something on the main event scene, but Cody, shocker, I know, is much bigger than Drew. And maybe Cody's not as hot as he was like a year or two ago, but he's still chugging along. He's still doing good. So I just don't think you move off of that and you just keep it with Cody.
Adrenaline in your soul, something, something.
Cody Rhodes.
No way. What? My father said. I'm sorry. I apologize. Yeah, okay. So that's it.
Yeah, I
These are
guess
the-
that's it.
I don't know. Drew McIntyre.
We've been saying this all the way back at Clash at the Castle, what 3 years ago, and that did happen. So what
Well,
would
he
happen
won the
now?
world title at WrestleMania 40. Let's not forget. That happened.
It did happen for a couple seconds, and
Him
then
and CM Punk are one of the same.
Drew Mac, and then CM Punk had to fuck him over. Sorry, no cussing, no swearing. Where's Danhausen at?
Uh,
Taking care of his little Danhausen.
da- Pepsi
His
Phil?
child, that wasn't a penis joke, Philip.
Pepsi Phil?
No, his actual,
Mm.
infant
All right,
child.
well, that's going to do it for us, guys. We will be back, hopefully, to recap Saturday night's main event in a couple days. Thank you, guys. As always, be safe and stay dangerous. Yes, sir.